Wait till you see the. No, 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 no. Look at the top of his head. Look at his lips.
Gentlemen, welcome back to the channel if you haven't already. Be sure to kick that like button on the job. Let's spin for some reason on a pitch bell. Like the match has started. And today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be doing our Backlash review. I know I didn't have a live stream for my live reactions, but it's because YouTube, I couldn't do it without copyright. I don't know why. But YouTube is just being crappy, but maybe next month, for Extreme Rules, I maybe do a Twitch stream. So be sure to go follow me at TheRoyalRumbler YT at twitch.tv.com. The link will be in the description! But with all that out said, let's get right into the review. This is your Backlash review and results inside the Wrestling Cauldron. WWE Backlash returned to the pay-per-view lineup this year after being left out in 2019. As one of the WWE's longest-running events, it is an important part of the company's history. Sunday's show featured the men and women of WWE operating at the Performance Center in Orlando, Florida, once again due to coronavirus pandemic. But with more states beginning to ease lockdown restrictions, WWE could have fans back sooner rather than later. But here is what the card looked like for Backlash. We had Edge versus Randy Orton, which was the quote-unquote greatest wrestling match ever. We had Asuka versus Nia Jax. We had Apollo Crews versus Andrade, the United States Champion. Jeff Hardy versus Sheamus. Braun Strowman versus The Miz and John Morrison for the Universal Champion. Drew McIntyre versus Bobby Lashley for the WWE Championship. Sasha Banks and Bayley versus the Iconics versus Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross for the Women's Tag Team Champions, and the Street Profits versus the Viking Raiders for the Raw Tag Team Championship. Let's take a look at everything that happened at the pay-per-view. On the kickoff show, we got Apollo Crews versus Andrade for the U.S. title. Kevin Owens joined the commentary team to make sure Angel Garza and Zelina Vega did not interfere in Crews versus Andrade. The challenger took control early by using an illegal chokehold over the top rope until the ref forced him to break. As the fight spilled to the ringside area, Crews hit a back body drop onto the metal ramp. The United States Champion followed up with a moonsault from the apron. They traded control several times over the next few minutes to make this a competitive contest. A slingshot DDT brought El Idolo. I don't know how to say that. Close to winning at one point, but Garza tried to distract the champion, but Owens took him down. This allowed Crews to hit a spinning powerbomb for the pin, and the win. As a result, Apollo Crews defeated Andrade to retain the United States Champion. What do I grade this? I grade this a B+, because, as expected, Crews and Andrade delivered a great match. Their technical position was on point, and their high-flying moves looked great. Owens being the equalizer helped keep this match fair. But it also opens up the possibility that he will request a title shot for helping Crews retain his belt. And Garza and Andrade won't be together much longer if El Idolo blames him for failing to provide a proper distraction. And moving on to the next one. For the next match, we got Bayley and Sasha Banks versus Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross versus the Iconics! Oh my god. For the women's tag team titles, a championship, we've all forgot about. The first match on the main show featured Sasha Banks and Bayley defending the women's tag titles against the Iconics in the team of Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. Billie Kay, Nikki Cross, and Bayley began for their teams. Cross' unorthodox offense allowed her to get the better of the other two superstars until she was able to tag in the Goddess. And Banks, Bliss, and Peyton Royce each tagged in to give their partners a chance to rest. But all 6 women ended up brawling at the same time at one point. And Bliss may have been the smallest competitor, but when she got the hot tag from Cross, she ended up dominating the other 4 superstars. After the Goddess hit Royce with Twisted Bliss, though, Banks ran in and rolled Bliss up to steal the win and retain the titles. As a result, Sasha Banks and Bayley retained the tag titles. Would I grade this? I grade this a B-, because triple threat tag team matches can be tricky sometimes. There are a lot of moving parts to keep track of, which can sometimes lead to an awkward bout. Thankfully, this wasn't one of those occasions. The match progressed in a fun and logical way. It never felt like there was too much going on at once at one point, which is always a risk when there are more than 2 teams. Even fatal 4-way tag bouts can be easier to manage because only 2 people are legal at a time. Or in the ring at once. Triple threats usually have 3 people in the ring at once, but everybody contributed to ensure this one went smoothly. Royce and Bliss were the standouts here, but everybody came out of it looking good. The women's tag team division has potential if WWE keeps pushing it. Now moving on to the next one. Our next match, Jeff Hardy versus Sheamus. Sheamus took Jeff Hardy down right away as these combatants locked up immediately. The Irishman pushed his rival's face to the mat and scrapped off some of his face paint. The Celtic Warrior was clearly looking for revenge after the charismatic Enigma threw urine on Friday's SmackDown. And he taunted Hardy as he beat him down in the corner. The high flyer began to focus on Sheamus' leg, and they took the fight out of the ring. Hardy hit a dive from the steel steps. He considered using the steps as a weapon, but the ref talked him out of it. Sheamus punished him with a flurry of elbow strikes to the back of the neck. Hardy began to rally, but Sheamus prevented him from hitting the Swanton Bomb. They botched a move late in the match, and Hardy almost took a header right into the mat, which could have ended up really going terribly. But the charismatic Enigma hit the Twist of Fate and a Swanton Bomb, but the Celtic Warrior saved himself with a foot on the rope. Sheamus came back with 2 brogue kicks for the win. As a result, Sheamus defeated Jeff Hardy. Would I grade this? I grade this a C+, because the storyline leading to this match has been questionable at best. And even if Hardy signed off on it, many fans feel using his real-life issues with drugs and alcohol in a feud is a very bad decision. The build-up was odd, but the match itself was decent. Both men used the things that brought them to the table, like Sheamus' power and Hardy's agility. The only real criticism one could levy here against this bout was how predictable it was. You could almost see which moves were coming from a mile away. A lot of matches were like that. So it doesn't keep this one from not being enjoyable. And there were a few sloppy moments, but not enough to ruin it. Having Sheamus win was a very odd choice, unless it leads to a reveal that somebody else was responsible for framing Hardy a few weeks ago. Now moving on to the next one. Our next match, we got Asuka versus Nia Jax for the Raw Women's title. Asuka did her best to combat Nia Jax's power early on, but the Raw Women's Champion eventually found herself being thrown around by the powerhouse. Jax began to slow the pace down as she kept the Empress of Tomorrow grounded with some power moves. As she taunted the title holder with Kairi Sane's name, Asuka nailed her with a spinning backflip. The Empress took her down with a missile drop kick and a hip attack for a 2 count. And then she sent Jax into the ring post to stop it on her shoulder. They ended up fighting outside the ring until the referee counted out both women, allowing Asuka to retain the title. As a result, Asuka retains the Raw Women's Champion via countout. What I grade this? I grade this a C, because this wasn't as good as it could have been, and it did not have a satisfying ending. But it could have been much worse. Asuka is always entertaining, but her style works against opponents who are a little quicker on their feet than Nia Jax. The conclusion makes sense with the feud may continue for another month. Now, moving on to the next one. Our next match, Braun Strowman versus The Miz and John Morrison for the Universal Championship. After debuting their new music video, Hey Hey, The Miz and John Morrison tried to keep Braun Strowman off his game by using quick tags and speed to stay away from him. The Monster Among Men kept rushing off the offense and eventually threw both men out of the ring. And they took him down with a combination of moves that ended up with Morrison hitting a dive over the top rope to the floor. The Universal Champion tried to make a comeback, but wound up running himself into the ring post. Prior to the fight, The Miz and Morrison were told by only one of them would become the new champ if they beat Strowman. They seemed to play in the listeners' minds when he pulled his teammate off the Monster when he went for a pin. Realizing what he had done, he tried to help him get the pin once more. Strowman kicked out with authority, took out both of slam on Morrison for the pin and the win. As a result, Braun Strowman defeats John Morrison and The Miz to retain the Universal Champion. I grade this a C because against opponents. But The Miz and John Morrison aren't the best people to get the match. This didn't go too long. So there was only one moment when The Miz and Morrison were not in sync. And that's what led to their downfall. This could have been a fun gimmick match, but ended up just being as predictable as expected. Moving on to the next one. Our next match is Drew McIntyre versus Bobby Lashley for the WWE Championship. MVP accompanied Bobby Lashley to the ring for his match against Drew McIntyre for the WWE title, and he distracted the champion so he could put him in a full Nelson before the bell. It took several officials to force him to break the hold, but the damage had been done. The Scottish psychopath struggled to regain his composure and get to his feet. He told the ref he could continue, and Lashley immediately bounced on him in the corner once the bell rang. And he hit a vertical suplex for a near fall as Lana watched from backstage. The WWE Champion still hadn't had a chance to remove his jacket when the Almighty laid him out with the clothesline for another 2 count. McIntyre began to build some momentum after sending Lashley out of the ring. The champ took a bad fall and landed right on top of his head. He appeared to be alright and continued the match. Lashley hit a Claymore kick with a spear to get a close 2 count before Lana made her way to the ring. She got on the apron and accused the ref of cheating. McIntyre ended up knocking the Almighty into Lana, who fell into MVP's arms. This led to the champion hitting him with the title. As a result, Drew McIntyre defeated Bobby Lashley to retain the WWE Champion. What do I grade this? I grade this a B-. The pre-match attack benefited from being a little shorter. The longer they went, the more small mistakes they started. However, they did manage to keep the match interesting as it progressed. And both men looked as dangerous as ever. And so it was the best thing to come out of this may be the end of Lana and Lashley's relationship. On to the next one. Our next match, we got the Street Profits versus the Viking Raiders for the Raw. The fight started out in the parking lot. Eric ended up getting slammed on top of Strowman's car, and all four men had a fear of what the long wind would do to them. The two teams kept fighting and incorporated several problems from their previous competition. They agreed to pull their weapons down and fight like real. At one point, Jockey tackled Ivar through a glass pane near the performance center entrance. As they fought in the parking lot, several people pulled up on my revealed himself as one of the bikers and gave a quick promo in Japanese. The Raiders and Street Profits forces the battle of the squad of Raiders. This quickly turned into a heated brawl between the two groups. Tozawa eventually brought out the huge masked man to face him, but Ivar summoned his turkey leg like Thor's hammer. After they escaped on a production all the men ended up in a dumpster, and the video ended up with them trying to escape a monster that looked like it was right out of a movie on Mystery Science Theater 3000 with I agree this B with extra credit. This ended up being something of a surprise cinematic match, complete with sound and flash. It came out of nowhere, so a lot of people were probably thrown by the presentation. Even if this didn't seem to make sense, it was a fun showcase of the complete chemistry these two teams built up in recent weeks. Led a group of ninjas. That was a weird thing. Anything that gets him on a pay-per-view has to be good. And there was a lot to like about this, but many fans probably would have preferred to see them settle their feud in a real match. And moving on to the next one. And finally, we got Edge versus Randy Orton in the quote-unquote greatest wrestling match ever. The match began with a Madison Square Garden mic unit hanging from the ceiling as Howard's voice introduced the competitors in spirit. They locked up and struggled for control until Randy Orton slammed Edge's face into the mat. The rated R superstar hit a deep arm drag before his rival countered the last one. The biker kept grounded in a scissors hold, but Edge escaped every time it looked like he would take the upper hand. Orton slithered out of his grasp. The ultimate opportunist continued to use mostly technical as they countered and murdered each other every step of the way. A headbutt from Edge caused Orton to start bleeding from his forehead, and the old Edge began to emerge as he smiled, seeing the damage he had done. His signature backbreaker to turn the tables and kept focusing on Edge's neck by sending him into the barricade and steel steps. After a long struggle, Edge came back with 3 suplexes in a row as a homage to Eddie Guerrero. Latino Heat! And they traded chest chops as they got back to their feet. The Viper hit a huge suplex to put himself in the driver's seat. The rated R superstar dropped Orton with an Edge cushion for a near fall. At this point, it started to drag on a bit, and they slowed the pace down considerably as the Viper set up for an RKO and countered and hit the Edge-O-Matic for the 2 count. He even used Christian's Unprettier, but it still couldn't keep Orton down. the Viper used a pedigree with the same result. Orton was stunned when Edge kicked out of the RKO, but the Rated R Superstar was just as shocked when he failed to win with 2 spears in a row. The Viper would drill him with a punch hit to finally get the win. As a result, Randy Orton defeated Edge. What are this an A? Because Edge and Orton took the greatest wrestling match ever title very seriously. They used more time than we've seen either of them in years. While everything they did was fluid, it didn't feel like we were watching Edge and Orton until about halfway through the match. And it felt like we were watching them try to wrestle like Daniel Bryan, which is not what these two superstars usually do. Once they start using more strikes and power moves, we started to see more signature moves from their respective repertories. The crowd when WWE piped in was often more distracting than it should have been. But Edge and Orton were still able to have an incredible match. Was it the greatest match ever? Absolutely not. No. But it was really good, and that's the best we could have hoped for. And that is all I have today. Anyway guys, thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, be sure to kick that like button and jump. Watch the video, press and ring the notification bell. They like the match has started, and I will see you guys next time. Sweet. Okay, see you guys next time.